There's an interesting discussion to be had around what merits technology has had from a survival perspective. In the modern day, we likely can't conceive of a world without technology for accomplishing day to day tasks, obligations, and survival. But why is that? We as humans have evolved to have superior intelligence, and as a result of this, our framework for what's required to live is arguably less exhaustive than what it may have been previously before many of these advancements. This is not to undercut the multitude of ways that life has become more exhausting depending on one's background and living conditions, but that in the overall, society has made improvements to ensure we have easier access to basic necessities. These improvements are likely broader than what one would typically consider in association with the word technology. As Morton Winston and Ralph Edelbach put it in their textbook Society, Ethics, and Technology, technology consists of not only useful artifacts and the tools and processes needed to produce them, but also the entire social organization of people and materials that permits the acquisition of the knowledge and skills needed to design, manufacture, distribute, use, repair, and eventually dispose of said artifacts. As a result of this broader definition of technology, it's reasonable to assume that many facets of our life have been changed for the better or the worse as a result of technology beyond just surface level associations like with phones or computers. In fact, that's actually what I'm interested in exploring in general here. What are the quantifiable changes that technology has introduced into our lives, whether it's a part of one's daily routine or something that is scarcely utilized but vitally important nonetheless? Surgery, on one hand, has had significantly high success rates in comparison to 100 years ago, and even beyond just that, more options for surgeries have come to be as a result of lifestyle, pains, and disabilities now recognized. In regards to lifestyle, I refer to like plastic surgery, which has become such a culturally relevant procedure that more and more people opt into despite being fully cosmetic and a fully elective surgery. I myself have had a Contura LASIK surgery, which has helped remove my dependency on glasses for seeing far distances. This advanced version of LASIK eye surgery was only introduced to the US in 2016, and this opportunity would have been completely unavailable to me had I not been fortunate with the timing of when I opted into this surgery. This is all to say that the opportunities within health and surgery, as a result of the advancement of technology, have improved tenfold. In the audio podcast, How Has Technology Changed Us on BBC Sounds, the History of Ideas group discusses an extreme version of both these cosmetic and necessary surgeries in a single scenario: cognitive implants. The motivation of these surgeries research was based on making day-to-day activities in life and on computers accessible for those with Parkinson's disease. But as the discussion continues, it also talks about how it isn't off the table that these surgeries become elective, or in other words, not just for those with Parkinson's disease. There may be a future where it's quite culturally common to have technological implants to make day-to-day life easier and more convenient, even for those without suffering from a disability that would mandate the implants. This may sound dystopian to you, and if you feel that way about the direction certain technology is taking, you wouldn't be alone. Not dissimilar from a corporation whose only purpose is to expand, grow, and make more money, technology is often pushed to an extreme, regardless of the necessity, simply because it can. It is worth noting that convenience and survival are often antithetical to each other in many contexts, and technology often can function for the sake of convenience, but to the detriment of survival. In Death by Technology, John R. Cook describes technological fetishism, which is a view that technology has become the master and we the slave. Furthermore, that technology is growing on its own, not as a consequence of free human choice, and technology, in its growth, is shaping all major institutions and practices of society. Essentially, our world and values and culture change as technology expands because technology is an uncontrollable organism adjacent thing that only grows, and we can only base our morality off of it to make sense of its impending advancement. Of course, there is pushback and dissent to much technology, but even said adverseness to it can only make a dent in its continued development. This is all to say that technology has been, is currently, and will continue to be ever present in our lives as an indomitable force that cannot be stopped.